Brittany, I don't think you understand that I have a job.
I know, I don't understand that.
And it really like kills me
I know,
every
I just
single
don't
time.
understand. Wait, hold on, wait. Can you explain this again? Hold on. Wait, okay, so every morning you wake up at like 8 a.m. and then you log on. Wait, I'm
I wake up,
confused.
I, katherout, hereby request Josh Ovalle for collaboration with the Internet is Dead podcast. Please, Josh, be a guest on the podcast. We miss you.
Wait, I'm confused.
Brittany's
Wait,
unemployed.
wait, can I, guys, guess what I was doing this morning? Just when I set
Texting
this.
your ex.
Yes. Oh my gosh. How did you know, girl?
I don't
And
know.
that,
How did I
and,
know?
and what I said, do you want to hear what I said? It was really funny.
Nope.
Okay, so I texted him and I said, I had a dream that I used an AI dating app last night. And then like there was this guy, he was like an AI guy, like he was like not a real guy, and I thought he was not real. And he was a figment of my imagination, and he put his dick inside me, and then he told me he had
Ew.
HIV afterwards. And then it turned out he was real, and I had to tell my mom. And I said dot dot dot, and then I said, what if you have HIV and turn out to be real and then I have to tell my mom?
I didn't listen to any of that because I was looking over the questions for the interview that we're about to do.
Wait, what?
You've gotten so much worse. Ugh, you're really making me mad. I'm not coming over anymore.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're making me mad.
I have to go to the bathroom.
She's here.
Okay.
Can I let her in?
I guess I'll just hold it
Good.
for an hour.
Good.
You have a beautiful, vibrant red sweater on.
I was like, I need to record my own podcast tonight, so I was like, what is going to look visually stimulating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
And
that.
I feel really visually stimulated right now.
well, good.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, I mean, podcasts aren't designed to be visual mediums, but it's like now we're doing it, so
It's
might as well
true.
lean into it. I'm
Is
like,
your podcast is all video too, or?
I mean, I do, yeah. I mean, Spotify, iTunes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also YouTube.
Yeah.
I just feel like because I'm already a YouTuber, it's like I'm already good with that. Why not?
Yeah.
And I also just feel like YouTube, like podcast apps, don't have the same like discovery mechanism that like social media does. So like I feel like they just lack that
Yeah.
engine of it. Which
Mm.
I didn't think that many people would find me through my podcast, but I feel like actually word of mouth has been like really powerful.
That's really interesting
Yeah.
because I feel
Yeah.
like that is also, I feel like the way that we are known is through word of mouth as well.
Mhm.
I mean, I found you guys through the algorithm. Like, you guys just popped up on mine. So I'm
Oh my
like,
Oh my God,
God.
really?
you're doing something right. I think it's
Thanks,
just your
algorithm.
guests are like in the cut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, follows. I'll click on that. I'm like,
Aw.
like, absolutely. Just some people that I'm like, I don't really get to hear from them as much. I feel like in like interview format. So
Yeah.
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 Wait,
No, it
thank
was,
you. I'm so fucking happy to know
I
that
know
we're in the
about the
algorithm.
algorithm.
That
It's
just
like,
made
thank
my
God.
day. Me when I'm in the algorithm. Yes, thank God.
No, y'all are pulling your weight because like on podcasts, it's like the numbers are small on podcasts, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter numbers wise because if people are watching a long duration, that's actually like a lot of engagement. Like that's like a lot
Yeah.
of commitment versus like someone watching like a 60-second like reel is
Yeah.
not as powerful.
Yeah. Wait, thank you.
Yeah.
That's so
No,
nice.
yeah, like thank you for yeah, coming on too, because yeah, you reached out or replied and said that you saw our episode with Savannah. And I had like grown up because I feel like we talk about our internet backgrounds on this podcast. And I feel like I kind of have not talked about this part of my internet background, which was like very much the college YouTube era. Like I was obsessed with your videos specifically and Cath in college. Like those were like the two channels. Oh my God, Cath in college literally like changed my brain chemistry. Like it was crazy. Like it was because I was like so depressed in high school. And I feel like watching those college videos made me like genuinely really hopeful for like just the
Mm.
future.
And that was like really the cutting edge. Like that time, like Kath,
Yeah.
like I feel like there was maybe like one or two college YouTubers I watched before I got into school, but like I started college in 2014, and at that point I feel like it was just like it was very nascent, like seeing
Wait,
college
yeah, that's an
YouTubers, so, like,
interesting like time to be in college. Yeah.
it was prime time for sure. It was like
Yeah.
I felt like it was the right, era to
Yeah.
go to college pre-pandemic, thank God.
Mm.
And yeah, it was like and USC like as a school I feel like was a little bit of like a hub where it was like oh, there's like a handful of us like doing this here. Which
Yeah.
Yeah.
helped to like give you a little bit more confidence because like at that point like vlogging and like being a YouTuber was like just becoming like publicly acceptable. But like before
Mm.
that, I was very much like closeted. Like no one in high school knew I did this. Like I was like, I'm gonna keep this on the DL because I am too smart, and I know that from my viewing history, people get bullied for having YouTube channels. So I
Yeah.
was like, let
Yeah.
me keep the silver play button behind closed doors.
Keep that under lock and key.
No, I actually
Yeah, that's
I did
so
not hit
funny.
100K in high school anyway. But I was like, I'm just gonna yeah keep it. I keep
Yeah.
it to my
Yeah.
close friends and
Mm.
not leave it outside the bubble basically.
Wait, was Best Dressed a USC girly or was she UCLA?
She
I'm
was
trying to
She's
remember.
UCLA.
UCLA.
Okay.
Yes, it was
Because
like
those two
Conan. Yeah,
schools were the thing. I
Those were the
remember it like
schools.
on my algorithm and like because I feel like I didn't watch you when I was younger, but I watched like Best Dressed and I watched like when Ellie and Hannah like went to college, like
yeah.
Ellie Thuman and Hannah Maloche, I was like, oh my God, I'm eating.
No, it's like it's been such a journey because I'm like now there's people that like go to college like to be college vloggers. Like they
Yeah.
will pick
That's
schools based
so
on like
weird.
what is like gonna be engaging
Yeah, it's
because
psychotic.
yeah, we're getting a little bit. I remember when I was in college, I was very adamant that I was like, I'm a college YouTuber, not a YouTuber in college, because I was like, school comes first. Like I'm here to like. It felt like I was like a student athlete, where I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like this is a big part of my life, but like I'm here to get my degree, and this is just something that I'm just doing because this is my outlet, basically.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that also then kind of carried on, like we'll get into this, but like carried on to then like after when like your post grad kind of life of how you were like posting videos of like corporate life and like working a job and stuff because it was like very much like, oh, this is my life. And then YouTube is kind of a side thing.
Yeah.
But I did want to, yeah, before we get into that, so you were posting in high school, like just like videos like preparing for college, or like when did you start posting and what did that kind of look like?
Yeah, well, I've gone through so many different like content streams. I've swam down many rivers, but like I started in like the beauty guru space where I was like, okay, like I'm seeing hauls, I'm seeing like tutorials. So I was doing some like, some of that just based off what I was watching because there really wasn't like there was like, like science channels and stuff, but there wasn't like academic like school like I was very like preppy in high school and so I felt like a lot of the time I spent on like Tumblr was very much on like Study Blur, which was like this really
Yes.
niche
Mm.
area that I feel like not many people touched, but like that's where I was. And so I didn't really see a lot of that on YouTube. So it took me a while, but like maybe like 3 or 4 years into posting on YouTube and doing like outfit of the weeks and stuff, then I was like, let me just basically share like how I applied for college because I was like, I didn't have a college counselor. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people like where I grew up in the Bay Area, like very affluent, like Silicon Valley community, like a lot of people had like private, like college counselors like helping them. And I was like, YouTube is a place where it's like you actually ideally can like democratize information and like give it out to people and not have it be paywalled. And so I was like, let me just share like what I did for like the ACT and the SAT and like applying and like da 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 da. And then those videos were the best performing videos on my channel at the time. So I was like, oh, there's a market for this. Like this is something
Yeah.
that people want to see. And so then I just kind of continued on that path. And then when I got to USC, my friend Anne Marie, she was
Oh my
vlogging.
God, wait, her too. I forgot about her. Oh, I
That's
just
my
love her videos
girl.
also. Yes. And like, yeah,
So
she was from like Alaska, right? Like
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah,
She was
I
from
remember
Alaska.
now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we connected our freshman year because we were both in the same business program and like it's just like we were kind of like internet friends but also college friends so it was nice to have people at USC that like understood that and
Yeah.
it was nice to like be able to like collab and like have people in person and like be in LA and like be able to like experience that side of the internet.
Mm. That
Yeah.
is so weird, you being at like the very like beginning of that because yeah, like the way that it's evolved since is insane. But also I like have thought about a lot recently, just like reflecting on like the college era and even like what my mindset was as a viewer and like why I was watching those videos. Like I feel like no one knew what they were like doing. Like no one like knew like what the fuck like in like high school like what we were even picking like when we were picking
Yeah.
like even like our majors or what school we were going
Mhm.
to. So it makes a lot of sense that like YouTube became this place for that.
I mean, I feel like YouTube, like, that's like the richest part of it is when you just get a video on your timeline that's like I'm like I watched this one person that's like living in like Longyearbyen in like Svalbard, and like it's like 22 hours of darkness, and I just get to watch someone's lifestyle in like a very like odd place. And
Yeah.
college, I feel like if you're in high school, is like there's like movies about college and you see that, but like it's very much like a black box of like what is that gonna be like when I get there? And to be able to like film a move-in vlog and be like, this is what it's like
Yeah.
I remember just being so happy to be able to like offer that up, because I was like, oh, this is like building into like I just felt like it was like this is like going to be a canon of like content that's going to be really helpful, because I was like, I got that shit dialed. Like I was like, I have the plan, I'm good to go, like here is the tutorial for like how to move into college.
Yeah.
Here's exactly what to do. Yeah, no, that
The
is
steps to
genuinely
take.
crazy. You kind of like, yeah, you like knew what you were doing when you did that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like tutorials were valuable back then. I'm like, at this point, like, what tutorial do we even need anymore? Like, I feel like we've got it all. But like, that was back, I feel like, when we were like building the library of like content. Now I feel like we're just like getting into like post content.
Yeah.
Or getting into slop mode. But like back then, it was like, oh, we actually haven't seen this on YouTube before. So it felt like really like wide what I was able to do and like what was like available. But now it feels like there's like some more, especially like college content, there's like grooves. And now I've been seeing like a few years ago I saw videos of like 8 hours study with me straight, and I'm like, that's getting scary.
Yeah.
Like, because the regular study with me content's not hitting anymore. Like, you got to do like mega, hyper speed. It's so I feel like back then it was like it was simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was gonna ask, like, yeah, kind of how, because, like, yeah, when you were starting to make those videos, like, you really were part of that first wave of like college YouTubers when it really just like wasn't a thing at all. And I also remember like kind of like that content being new, because I remember watching videos like, oh, how to get into like Harvard or Stanford or all like these prestigious colleges, or like reading the essay that got me into like every single Ivy League,
Yes.
like videos like that. And now that is just like, oh, like there's so much content like that out there that it doesn't feel the same. And I'm curious like how you see that space now, and like how you've seen it evolve. Like even the thing of what we were talking about where people will go to college now because it's a school that's like, oh, this is good for engagement, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't in the past couple of years like tapped in, but I remember in 2020 being really into Moya Mawini's videos, because I was just like, oh, this is like actually so darling. And like, even though like I did not go to college in, where was she, Dublin? Was she in, I feel like she was like somewhere in Ireland maybe. But anyway, I was like, this is so distant from my reality, but I'm like, it's so nostalgic to like watch someone like reach their final years of college and like do those goodbyes and like think about what's happening. And like, I feel like that was a way for me to like reconnect with like that time in my life. But now I'm not yearning as much for like that college content, which did like, there is this sort of like existential moment that happens in anybody that's vlogging in college life, because they're like, oh, this is gonna end, and then like everyone that was
and like who am I?
right, like
Yeah.
for Moya, like everyone was just like, I feel like she's been fine because people were following for her, but it's like if your whole thing is like Harvard, 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 and then you're done with Harvard, it's like, what do you do? Like I remember, what's her name, Unjaded Jade was someone that I was like watching,
Oh,
and
yeah,
she
yeah.
was struggling with that too, like. And so I think in a little bit of like a twisted way, I'm like, what are they gonna do? Because that was really confusing for me.
You're
so
like,
I'm
prove
like,
it. Prove it then. Show me what you're gonna do.
no, literally, I'm like, what's the transition plan, y'all? So I feel like I haven't been tapped in too much recently, but I'm like, I haven't seen anything make too big of a splash recently, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting just like that chokehold that it has on like people in high school or even like after high school of like, oh, I just want to watch this content of someone filming their day at like at USC or UCLA or wherever it is.
I feel like people were also so obsessed with like the grind then, and I feel like that like really fit into that category of like, oh, like people like grinding doing schoolwork or like getting like being really organized. And it's funny that like that's what our brains were seeking out as like kids.
Yeah, we used to be into that. I feel like that changed a lot when everything slowed down in 2020 and we were like locked. I think it kind of went both ways, where some people got really hyper productive and were like really into that. And I feel like that was a lot of my content was like how to just like do it well, like how to like join all the clubs and like get the good grades and like do this and do that. And I feel like I was doing a lot of like optimization, like productivity content. And so like I think I tried to do that a little bit after like I graduated, but now like my lifestyle is so different, like I'm not really interested in that. But it does feel like a lot of that was, you know, it definitely like the hustle culture, girl boss time, it was all coalescing.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Were you having that kind of identity crisis a little bit when you had graduated, where you were like, oh, like I made a bunch of college content and now like what do I make kind of thing?
Yeah, I actually had like a vlog channel too that was just all college content. And I realized quickly, like when I graduated and got a full time job, I was like, I am no longer, I don't have the pockets of time I did in college. I actually don't know how I did two YouTube channels and was like involved in all these clubs and had like multiple jobs in college. Like, I don't understand how I did that. But
Yeah.
when I got a full time job, I was like, oh, like there is no more time to like be vlogging my life. Like, it's boring now. Like I'm just going to work and then I'm going home. I did a couple of like day in my life things and I was like, well, that should do it. Like I don't really need too many. So I closed out my vlog channel and then my main channel, I was still doing a lot of like, I feel like retrospective college videos of like, would I have done any differently? Did I have any regrets? Like I was still trying to like tap into that because I was just like, that's what I know and like that's my pocket. And that's what I thought. Like I still had a lot of viewers that were like in high school, in college, like still going through that. And also that was a point where like sponsorships wise, I feel like a lot of the deals that people wanted to do with me were very based in like school content or like study apps or like things like that. And so I was like,
Yeah.
well, I literally, if I want to like use this as some extra income, then like I need to figure out how to do that. But then after a while, it did start to feel like when like Alicia Marie was doing like back to school videos when she was like 27. And I was like, I need to like
Yeah.
actually graduate from college online too. Like I need to do it in
Yeah.
real life and online. But I also graduated from college because I had enough credits to like do it a year early to save some money. So I was like, I actually did do it a little prematurely. So maybe in some part online, I was like, let me just finish this out and then
Yeah.
and then move on. But it was like a little bit of like growing pains of like, what do I do now? And I definitely was looking to like a few other people to see, and most people I saw were like they were doing corporate content like 9 to 5, 5 to 9, like that kind of thing, like that. Then I saw that engine started to take off and I was like, oh, people want to see that, like everything, like I feel like
It's such a
everything on the
funny
internet,
pipeline.
That
I'm like,
content is like blowing up now too, especially like I see it all the time all over my TikTok of just people like vlogging like a day in their life as like an investment banker and with like the crazy timestamps,
We've
you know what I'm
genuinely
talking
gotten
about?
into like a psychotic
Yeah.
like era, I think, of the internet.
Yep.
it's getting I there's this one girl on YouTube Shorts that keeps popping up for me that she has two jobs, like two full-time jobs that she works together. And so she works like 16 hours a day at like a call center job and then like another job, and everyone in the comments is like so scared for her. And she's just like, well, this is what I want to do if I want to retire at 35. And I'm like,
Oh, wait, I
like,
do know what you're. I've
Oh,
seen videos like that. Yeah, where they're like, "Oh, I want to retire early, so I'm working like two jobs or whatever." Which is
which
also
I
interesting
get.
because it's like, yeah, but it's also like, okay, how much of this is just like people posting something because they know it's going to get engagement and like people are going to be like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm
Well,
interested."
well, I'm just imagining her like sitting at her desk and being like, call center job, like cut, like vlog with, like come along for my day. Oh my God, here's all the calls I'm getting today. This one's from someone in Florida, and then it's like what, like you know how like my mom works at a call center, and I'm imagining like the way that my mom like like freaks out about like annoying clients. Okay, anyways, yeah.
It, I mean, it's pretty much just her like in her PJs taking like her 30-minute paid lunch, like scarfing
Yeah,
stuff down.
like
Like
because it's like, what
Yeah.
do you even post for that? Like,
it's harrowing. Like it's not like a lot of content. I feel like especially 2014 to like 2020 was very like idealized, like utopian, aspirational. This is very like actually dystopian. Like, why are we doing this? Like, I feel like maybe like it's very much like fire movement, if you guys know about that. That's like what she's doing basically. But it's like I feel like content led her into that, and then it's leading her to content. So it's kind of like just like this circular thing. But everyone in the comments is just like so concerned for their health, for her health, because it's like, yeah, you can retire early, but are you going to be able to live well once your like cortisol levels have just like combusted your whole
yeah,
system?
yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm sorry. Um, I was gonna kind of shift to like, because I know you've been intermittently offline, online for like a few years and you haven't posted on your YouTube channel a bit now. And I wanted to ask about like what factors led for you to go offline and also just like kind of building on what we were talking about, like with hustle culture and burnout and like with working a full-time job and then also posting on YouTube. I'm curious like how you see the two of like YouTube and hustle culture related to each other. Like if stepping
Mm.
away from YouTube helped you disconnect from hustle culture or if it was like a separate thing that you had to unlearn.
Yeah, no, that's a good framing of it because it has been like two simultaneous journeys of like trying to understand like the pace of life I'm trying to live at. Like I feel like
Mm.
I have growing up in the Silicon Valley, like people are going really hard at their jobs and like not coming home from work until 10 p.m. every night, and everyone's going so hard at school. Like the pace feels like pretty fast for the West Coast. When I go to New York, I get like actually really scared because I'm like the pace of life is really fast there, and like I
Yeah.
don't drink caffeine. I'm drinking coffee every day there. I'm like I have to wake up. I have to go.
Yeah.
So I feel like I live in Seattle now, and like part of that move for me was like let me reset my like my flow of like how I want to be living. So I feel like I've tried to like slow down and like just genuinely like decrease my stress levels and try to get a little less high strung, like try to just like tune that down because just the more time that I've kind of like, you know, tapped out of that, I'm like, oh, actually nothing bad happens if you slow down a little bit. And I do feel like YouTube for me was always a really nice cushion for me to like kick up my sense of like productivity because it was like
Mm.
any free time I had, I was like, oh, I can just sink that into a YouTube video. Like
Yeah.
any free time I had, I was like, oh, well, I could be working on this, I could be editing, I could be filming, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. And so it kind of gave me like a way to just never slow down.
Mm.
And I love having outlets to express myself. I love like creatively like producing things. Like I really didn't ever expect myself to like slow down this much with what I'm putting out, but I feel like the shift is because I've just valued a lot more like pro-social outlets of expressing myself. Like I've gotten into stand-up comedy here, and I feel like
Oh,
I've poured
that's
a
so
lot
cool.
more. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
I feel like
awesome.
I've poured a lot more creativity into like hosting gatherings and trying to do that like every month or every other month here. And so I feel like as I've been like prioritizing that, I didn't intentionally like deprioritize YouTube, but I have very much like deprioritized like Instagram. Like I'm definitely
Mm.
doing like I'm definitely trying to like recover from screen addiction and like actually like throttle that for myself. And also like I think because I think because I was such an early adopter of the internet and like getting online, I feel like now I'm kind of getting shot out the other end faster too, where I'm like,
Mm.
actually, this is like, I'm seeing the like dark sidedness of it, and especially just like the the political aims of these platforms are like not our wellness or like not our like our salvation. Like it's like they don't want us to be free, they don't want us to live well. It's like they just want us to live on these platforms. And I'm like, I feel like I just am trying to understand like what a balanced life looks like. And I'm like, I have other things I want to focus on that are more nourishing than like
Mm.
just constantly feeding into like the dopamine of like, you know, content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after like being so like intensely like a YouTuber and like also like integrating that like in your like college experience and stuff, like do you feel like it was like a hard thing to like also then differentiate like your own identity like while kind of like doing what you're saying right now of just like detaching from like the internet?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to hear what you guys feel about this too, but I feel like so much of my identity has always been in my like occupations, like what I do. Like I grew up a musician, so I feel like being a band kid was like one of my big occupations, like being a YouTuber. Like I volunteered at the zoo in high school. Like whatever I was doing at the time was very much like, okay, this is a part of like who I am, what I am. Like now, you know, I'm a comedian. It's like now I'm, you know, well, I feel like one of my occupations I'm trying to like build more into my identity is just like friend. You know, like I like there's
Mm.
like things like that where I'm like actually like there's other things. But yeah, I feel like it's weird now because I'm like I still there's people that I've met this year that have not seen me upload a YouTube video. like have not like interacted with that like part of me, like don't understand it. Like obviously I'm still uploading like to my podcast, but it's just like that's different. And so I feel like it's interesting now because there's people that are getting to know me, like, and they kind of see me as like a retired YouTuber, and I'm like, no, like I'm getting back on there, like I will get on there, but it's just been increasingly harder for me to find the motivation to spend so much time alone on my computer. I'm like, that doesn't fill a void that maybe it used to.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I feel like it's like interesting because we started the podcast when we were in Philly and we like just moved to New York like 5 months ago or
Oh,
like, yeah, like 5, 6 months ago. And when we were in Philly, it was like we had been in Philly for a long time because we both went to school there. So like all
Yeah,
of our
like
friends and
six
yeah, like
years
6 years
maybe.
or something. So all of our friends in Philly, like everyone like knew us before we had the podcast. Then we started the podcast. So it was just kind of like, oh, like they have a podcast now, like whatever. But now being in New York, it's like when we meet people, it's like very much like, oh, like this is Brittany and Smear, like they have a podcast, or like
totally.
even just like like I went to like my friend's like housewarming party the other day, and it's a completely different social group, and she was introducing
Mm.
me to like her roommate, and she was like, she has the podcast I was telling you about,
Right.
and it's a really weird thing because I feel like I've never had that in the same way before.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's weird because I feel like I maybe have had that for like a while, just in terms of like doing something creative and then that being the thing that like people see me as. Because I feel like I ran a like DIY publication in college, so I feel like it's like not that different from that. And it's weird, I don't know, but it's still like a weird thing, definitely, like the shift in like importance of even just like the act of posting something online. And like, because I feel like people in Philly didn't really care at all. They were like, this isn't
Yeah.
cool. Like, no, even though like I feel like we were like kind of in like a like I
Like an
guess like
art
an
scene
yeah,
or
we were
like
in
a
like an art scene, but I feel like we were also like the minority in the fact that like we were like doing online stuff when a lot of it was like music oriented in Philly. And then yeah, I don't know. It is very interesting like seeing that shift and like just like the way people value it in
Yeah.
like day to day now is like so interesting. And I know it's like a New York thing, but I also think the internet is just like so like it's like gaining and gaining, but also at the same time, it's like a base level for people to be famous online. So it's like I don't know, it also cancels each other out.
Yeah, it really is just like context dependent. Like I have been used to basically for the past decade, like when people introduce me, it's like, oh, a lot of times they'll be like, she's famous. And I'm like, what does that mean to you? Because I'm like, I'm not getting recognized like every day. Of course it happens like every once in a while, but I'm like, is that what
yeah.
famous means? I'm like,
Mm.
I'm just like, I am known to the ones that matter. No, I'm just kidding. That's my affirmation. But
Do you like write that on your mirror in the morning?
like I am known to the ones that matter.
And that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
I'm beloved by the ones that matter. But no, there's like, and it's like, oh, you don't really get to choose how people introduce you. Like they let you know. And I feel like part of the reason like that I psychically like want to be online is like, oh, I must want to know what people think of me. Like I must want to know like how people like experience me. And I feel like I've always wanted to know like when I'm not around, like how do people refer to me? And I feel like, you know, there's been different ways throughout my life, but it's like, oh, I'm like tall. So they could be like, oh, Kath, like that tall girl. Or it could be like, oh, the YouTuber. Or it's like, oh, like what are they using to like triangulate like my identity? And it usually now I feel like a lot of people would go by my podcast because it's what I'm actively doing online. But it's really interesting to see like how people tag you like in their brain of like what
Yeah.
you do that is like the biggest marker, because I'm like there's so many things you could choose, and like the internet does just like really it's I think also because there's like numbers attached to it, people like can see its importance kind of.
Yeah. If you were to like the people who like go and introduce you and tag you as something, like if you were to almost decide that for them, like what would like your identity be? Like how do you view yourself?
What would my identity be?
Yeah,
It really is like so interesting. I feel like, yeah, I mean, I think I would, I think I like it when people recognize me as like a gatherer. Like I really enjoyed being like a host and like putting on events. Like I now like in my work I'm like an event planner, and I feel like that is something that I'm like, I like when people recognize that like I throw down like that. I'm also like an organizer, like politically, so I feel like that's like an identity that I really like want to attach myself with, because it's really important to me. I feel like I was saying before, like friend, like if people were like, she's a really good friend, like that would be like, fuck yeah, like I like that's an amazing title. Like I would rather be a good friend than like a YouTuber. But it there's I probably should journal about that later, because that's a good
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I feel like we like identify as like roles so much that then like it's like, well, what do we see like beyond that? And I think about that like a lot because like I feel like I often get into the struggle of like, what even is it supposed to be? What even is the real thing if none of the things are real actually? And yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a thing I've been thinking about for like the past few months.
Like if you're not actually like how like you identify with whatever your role is at the time of your occupation, but if you're not actually any of those things, then like what are you? And like
Yeah.
it's also weird because all those things are so temporary. Like even like not like identifying as like a college student, and then it's like, okay, well college ends, and then what are you? And then your job ends, and it's like, yeah, it's a really weird thing.
And then it's like, well, am I who I am when I'm happy? And it's like, but feelings aren't who you are either. So what are you gonna be?
it's scary, but I'm like, it's true that it's like it is so transient, and I feel like that it is helpful to like, I think it's helpful to think about, and it's helpful to update it, because I feel like my identity has shifted so wildly over time that I'm like, I hope people are updating it, because I'm like, if they haven't checked in a while, they're gonna be like, what the hell is going on now? But it's, you know, it's valuable to like, I think it is valuable to identify with things that you're actively doing. Like I really appreciate like a lot of Julia Cameron's work, and I feel like she's really big on like, it hurts when you're like, oh, I'm a ceramicist, but you haven't done anything, you haven't thrown anything on the wheel in like 3 years. It's like, it's like, or people that are like, oh, I'm going to write a book, but it's like, if you're not doing it, then that's actually not a part of your identity. Like your dreams and your desires like are a part of you, but it's like, what are you actively doing right now? And like that, I feel like I'm so attracted to people who really are resourceful and like take hold of their agency. And I think that partially is why I'm like, I've loved my internet friends and like connecting with people like that, because it's like, everyone thinks that they can do this, and like honestly I think they can do it too, but like no one actually does it. Like it's really impressive for you guys to like actually sit down and schedule these and like do it every single week. And like it's a huge undertaking, and like I only do my podcast once a month because I'm like, it's too much for me. So it's like that commitment is like is worth honoring, and it is worth like identifying with. But I think like almost beyond like the like surface level title of like podcaster, it's like, oh, this is someone who has like a creative ethic.
Yeah.
Like, that is actually like, that's gonna take, that's
no,
gonna
thank you. That's so sweet.
Like even if the podcast, you know, you stop doing it in 5 years or it changes, like you'll all like, you hopefully always have that. And so I'm like, even though maybe I'm not, I have like, I feel like I have a little bit of an identity crisis where I'm like, oh my god, like I'm not a YouTuber right now, and that's so weird because I've never not. I've always thought I was just gonna keep this up forever, but now I'm like, what if I actually just never posted again? And I'm like, no, I do still have the desire to. But ultimately, I'm like, it's not that my creative ethic has died. It's just like I'm applying it towards other things. Like I'm playing trumpet again. Like I just got a piano, and like I'm doing music again. Like that's really beautiful. So
that's awesome.
Underneath it all, like that stays.
Yeah.
I really like. Oh, sorry. I'm like breaking a little. So if I talk over,
I'm also breaking a little.
Breaking up. We say breaking.
You sound great on my. You sound great on my.
Okay,
end.
cool.
Thank you.
You guys just froze for a sec, but I was gonna say I really liked like what you said about just like, because I feel like it is easy to almost get lost in the like, oh well, all these things are fake, but there is like definitely something to just like, oh, you're like committing to sitting down and doing this thing every day, and you like are choosing it, which is like, there is something like I think really like there's like an energy behind that for sure, which is really interesting.
Like priorities are just so apparent, and so I feel like that's been really valuable to me. Is like I had literally a mentor from college tell me that it's like you always have the time if you make it a priority. Like so when you say like, oh, I don't have the time for that, it's like it's more so like, oh, that's not a big enough priority for me. And I feel like that's how I've been framing it, and almost lets you off the hook, because it's like we have so many demands on us and so many like expectations of ourselves, but it's like, what actually, like, settling in these last few years of like, what pace of life do I want to live at, and like what are my priorities, like, and how do those align to my values, like that just gives you such a stable sense of like self that you can like actually move off of, versus when I was like younger, I was like, I don't quite understand like why I'm doing all of this. It's just like intuitively like what I want to do. But when you can figure out like, oh, this is my priority and it's worth me putting, like, the podcast for me, I'm like, I'm doing this once a month, like that's my commitment. The YouTube channel, I'm like, I'm just not prioritizing it right now. Like, I could do it. I would just need to like not hang out with my friends a few nights a week, or like pull back from this commitment, pull back from that responsibility. And it's like, I'm just not willing to do that right now. And so it's like, I have to accept that or change it. Like,
Yeah. Well, I feel like getting that time is like also so important to being able to then like commit really heavily to the YouTube channel. Like I feel like everyone needs like a phase in their life where they just kind of like take a break from the thing they're doing and like also remember what it is that's motivating them to do it. And also just like I feel like let creativity like come to you. Because I feel like so many like intuitive thoughts like come to me in moments like that like you're describing.
yeah, it's like sort of a like a, you know, in like the desert or the drought, it's like you can find new inspiration there. I feel like even if I haven't been like exercising my creativity, I'm like, I feel like I'm just finding a lot of inspiration and like finding a lot of like new ideas. And it's like I am like working on the draft for my next video. It's just slow and it's like it's just taking a while, but I'm like, it'll get there. And I think I actually really enjoy creative people, creators, content creators that like they might take a big step back, but when they come back, what they do is like so inventive and creative, and maybe it's like does a fraction of the numbers their old like weekly content used to, but it's like something that's so actually original and like fresh. And like I really really appreciate when I find content and on the internet that's like actually inspiring to me, and it's not just like something that's feeding the like, you know, just the algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like I respect creators a lot who do that, or even creators who just like step back from YouTube when they were like so big on YouTube in the early days of it. And now they're just like, actually, I'm over this and I'm going to put my creative energy somewhere else. And now they're like doing really crazy things. But yeah, I was curious, like, just like, because I know you said you're living in Seattle now, just kind of what your life like looks like now. Because I know you mentioned stand-up comedy and then also music stuff. So I'm curious, just like, yeah, what's important to you right now?
Yeah, it's been like a really wonderful experiment to move, and Seattle was just like a dream city for me. Like I really liked the size of it. Like I knew I wanted to live somewhere that was like smaller than LA, but like I love the West Coast, and like just the geography here is just like so beautiful. Like I feel like it just feels like I'm living on planet Earth, and that's like really grounding for me. Where like I literally see like mountains and lakes and sound in the forest like every day. Like it's just like it's such a part of, and it's like just so woodsy here. Like there's bunnies running around everywhere. Like it's really
Oh, that's so pretty.
it's like literally our rats are bunnies here, and I just think that's so cute. Like I'm like, how did it get like that? But I can't complain. So
How did it get like that?
how did it get like that? I don't know. Some invasive something or other probably, but
Yeah.
I'll take it. So it's been nice to just kind of like, you know, experience also, funnily enough, like a lower cost of living from the Bay Area, because I'm like, oh, here I can like live alone and like see what that is like. And I think ultimately, like, I have learned so much from like being on my own here about like my own social needs. And I think I had never ever like lived alone before. Like in college, I was living first with a roommate and then in a house of 10 people, like all the like bunch of the trumpets in the marching band. And so that was like so chaotic and frenetic and like awesome for like my extroversion. And then when I moved here, well, first of all, the, you know, lockdown was like really scary and depressive for me because I was like, so much of what my like well-being comes from like socializing, and then moving here and being alone and only knowing like 2 people and then having to build up a social life here, I was like, oh, like I'm really curious to know like how you guys have met people in New York and like how you've built that up, because that's been like the grand experiment of my life here. And now 4 years in, I'm like, oh, like I have really robust community. I'm friends with my neighbors, so it doesn't really feel like I live alone. Like my neighbor just knocked on my door last night and like gave me some cookies, and like, it was so sweet. And I'm like, and then this morning I had to go deliver my ring light to my other neighbor because they're and then there's also a
What were they doing with the ring light?
The ring light was for their Christmas card shoot. So
Oh,
Oh
okay,
my
nice.
God,
They're
I
doing a
love
Christmas
that.
card shoot.
That's good.
It's
yeah,
so funny.
yeah, but yeah,
Um,
it's been a big project of like community building for me here, and also
yeah.
just
Yeah.
like a lot of that has been like, oh, what are gonna be my like my outlets here, and music was always my like social outlet. Like I was always involved in like so many musical groups in college and high school, and then I just stopped playing trumpet after I graduated, and I was like, I do actually like taking a step back from that. I was like, no, I like actually 5 years after that was still missing it. I was like, oh, I actually like more so even just playing the instrument. I was like, I miss being with musicians. Like I really like that like social milieu. So I was like, how do I get back into that? And I tried a couple of things and I had a couple like dead ends, and then through friends of friends, they brought me into this like concert band here, and that's been like such a wonderful social outlet for me. And then I
That's
got
so
my
fun.
piano actually from my upstairs neighbor, and now I'm able to like
Aw.
play piano again just on my own, and like just find basically like the ways that I'm gonna like, you know, contribute to, you know, the Seattle community and like throw down, because I'm like, I don't want to be a transplant. Like I don't want to just be someone who like
Yeah.
moves here and like sucks up all the resources and then is just like, that was nice, and like moves back home. I'm like, no, like I actually am trying to like build my life here and like contribute to the Seattle culture. So yeah.
Yeah, wait, that's
Yeah.
awesome that you like feel like enmeshed in it now. Like how long did it take you to like feel that way? Like do you feel like it was recent or
It was, I would say, the 2 year mark was like a big turning point for me. And also because when I first moved here, I was living in a neighborhood that was like more like secluded basically. And then as I made friends mostly through like a book club, and then just friends of friends from there, and then just like going to events, going to parties, just like no Bumble BFF needed.
thank God.
That was always on the table. It's always like available.
I'm
And I
always
was
curious
like,
about that. I'm like, do people meet friends off there? I want to know.
I do know some people that have, and then I do know some people that have, and then those friendships have reached a very scary demise. So
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
interesting.
imagine happening off of that.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
where my brain goes with it.
Yeah.
There was like a couple internet friends I like was able to like meet up with of like Seattle
Yeah.
content creators too, and like built that kind of up. And then 2 years in, I was like, oh, most of my friends are all living in this like other section of Seattle. So I was like, let me move there. And then once I did that, I was like, oh, being like walkable to your people just makes you so much more available, and then suddenly you're able to just like see them like leaps and bounds more, and it's just like that has made my life feel so much more stable.
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
that's
for
where
sure.
Samira, sorry, this is a question. This is where Maddie lives or Maddie's from, right? Maddie and or no.
Matty.
Matty, yeah,
Yes,
right?
like yeah, like
Okay.
Maddie,
I just wanted to
Colin.
like confirm that was like my idea of
Yeah,
Seattle.
yeah.
But
Our
yeah,
like friends our friends in New York, like they're like all from
yeah,
Seattle.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, three
That's
of
crazy.
us.
yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
some of the guys, like
Some of
three
the
of them.
guys in like this
And for
group.
counting Harrison, oh my God.
Yeah, for
Sorry.
counting Harrison, then he's also part of that group.
Sorry.
No, you're
But
good. Love that. Gotta make
to
it
answer because you said you were curious how like that was going
Yeah.
for us. I feel like it was interesting because I feel like we had known so many people from just like mutual friends and the internet that like coming here kind of felt like we just like stepped in and like kind of picked up where we had left off in Philly, at least in my perspective. Like I think that the podcast really like if we hadn't done the podcast, we wouldn't have known as many people. But I feel like it kind of
For
set
sure.
like a foundation for us before we even came here, which I'm really, really thankful for, and has been really
Yeah.
nice.
So
Yeah.
did you guys move to New York at the same time?
Samira
I
moved a
moved
little
like
bit
a
before
month
me.
before because Brittany like wasn't sure if she was gonna move or not, and then she ended up moving.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna love her and let her go, and then I was like, wait, actually, I'm coming.
Yeah, it was like a whole like I came over to announce that I was like leaving, and everyone was like sad. But everyone was like, "This is good," and then everyone ended up coming.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
so
everyone did end up like our
Yeah.
whole friend group is low key migrating here.
Yeah.
Like so many people are. It's like the Great Migration right now.
Yeah,
And that
which is
that's
like a
literally
yeah.
so beautiful. I wish more of my friends would move here, but it's like,
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it sounds like you have some existing folks.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like just through like any sort of community, like how you were saying with like the music, like concert band and stuff, like I feel like in a similar vein for us, just like different like I feel like the comedy scene, we've like met a lot of people through that here.
yeah.
Like film stuff. Like I just feel like different like pockets.
It's all like the internet people, I feel like.
Yeah, that's like the
Yeah.
connecting factor.
Which is so weird because I've never been in like a place that is so heavily like internet people. Like, because like
Mm.
people in Philly didn't really care that much. Like, they were online, obviously, but like not like that. So it's like really interesting because I was online for such a long time as a child to like come into this and like my like idea of like my Twitter friends be like the reality of New York, which is really weird.
That's amazing though. One of my friends in New York, like he was like a big Viner and was like, you know, has
Oh my God, who?
Jared ZSZ.
Okay, I don't know.
It's only a matter of time before you run into him, I'm sure. But
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah, but his whole like social group in New York was kind of like started off of Twitter, and like I think that's amazing because I like of all the platforms I've been on, like I like really never made any internet friends on Twitter. So I'm like, God bless
Yeah.
you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious
never,
who this
like,
is.
Yeah.
I'm
Are
gonna
you
look him
looking
up
him
really
up?
quick. Yeah. Wait, Jared Z. What did you?
Jared ZSZ.
Z.
Guys, I'm scared. ZS.
Jared. Okay, so also it's JAROD.
Oh, okay.
ZSZ. Yeah. Actually,
Wait,
on
Z?
Vine it was HTE Jared.
Wait, HT. Okay, that
Like
sounds
the
familiar.
misspelled.
That does sound familiar.
That's okay. Wait, sorry, Jared. I'm trying so hard to spell it on Instagram.
I know, I'm like watching you
Oh no, he's
spell it
not
out.
on Instagram. He's on Instagram.
Oh.
But if you go on Twitter,
Okay.
on
Oh,
Twitter.
okay.
He's still
Let me
that's like
check
his
this.
remaining platform after he got ran off of Vine, as everyone did. So
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me
So I
look up
think,
because
like,
I'm just
you
I just
know-
want to know if I know him.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have mutuals. Like there's literally just
Wait, Jared ZSD.
ZSZ. It's
ZSZ.
a Grimes reference.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
a guy's
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I found him. Seems
Yeah.
like we have 16 mutuals.
Look at that.
Oh, would you look at that?
Okay, I'll give him a follow.
Oh my
He's
God.
very special. He's very special.
Oh my God, his birthday's 2 days after mine. Do you think that we're the same? Do you think he's me?
Yeah, I think he's you.
Aries? You're an Aries?
Yeah, I'm an Aries.
That's very special. I'm an Aries rising.
Oh my God.
Ah.
Yes.
What's your actual sign?
I'm a Pisces sun, Cancer moon, Aries rising.
I'm a Cancer
Okay.
moon.
Oh, that's
That's
very.
true.
It's very tender.
Yes, it's very
placement.
like right. Like that's like
Yeah.
the right sign for
Very
you
right.
to be in.
Gentle. Yeah.
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 Nice.
I'm a quick crier, which is like a really nice release. So
Same.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that. Got my
Samira's
tissue
like that too.
box.
Yeah. I cried yesterday. We saw Wicked and I cried.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But
That's a good release.
it was a good release, honestly. Ariana was making me cry like a lot.
Dude, that beautiful woman on my television.
Wow.
Cry.
I'm like, I
Sorry.
actually just watched the first movie like when I was sick a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It took me a while for some reason. Everyone was like really lambasting me for like not having seen it, but I was
Yeah.
like,
I understand that. Yeah.
but I also like one of my friends was like, those movies are for Wicked heads. Like, actually, don't watch them if you don't really like fuck with Wicked. Like,
No. That's
Did you
the
like
wrong
it?
I
mindset.
mean, yeah, of course I liked it. It was very entertaining. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister had a similar, I like was home for Thanksgiving and I was like to my sister, we have to go see Wicked. And she was like, okay. And then the whole time she was like thinking of Wicked, like the first Wicked, because she just had never seen it. And I was thinking of like actually going in theaters to see Wicked. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is, yeah.
I mean, I had seen the musical like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I was like, did they make up new stuff for the movie? Because I was like, I don't remember like half of this. So I was like, wow, I actually like need to brush up.
Well,
But
They
I
made
think
up
it
a
was
lot in
pretty
the second one.
close. No, I felt like
In
a
the
lot of it was
second one,
really
they made up
close.
like a lot of songs, I think.
Yeah, they made up a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Which I didn't understand why.
I
I,
didn't
feel
get
like they
that.
were like filling screen time a little bit.
Yeah.
But
They
the
do that.
thing is that I think everyone needs to go out and see Wicked, see my girl Ariana, give her your coin. Ariana Nation, rise up.
Love.
I love her.
Brittany was
Sorry.
on Ariana Stan Twitter.
Yeah. I
Hey,
love
that's
her.
beautiful. I feel like, yeah, I was streaming Honeymoon Avenue for sure.
Oh my God, yeah,
Oh my
it's so
God.
good. Honeymoon Avenue is so good. I was put on this planet. I think my new goal is to say this in every single episode is I was put on this planet to interview Ariana Grande. That's the reason I was born.
I see that for you. Just keep speaking
Thank you.
that.
Thank
I
you.
think
I'm
so,
gonna
it'll
keep
happen.
saying it. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
saying it in every episode.
No, and I think it'll happen.
You'll
Thank you.
get there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You have time.
Thanks.
I
Thank you.
did kind of want to shift back to just like talking about when you were posting like on like the height of like when you were posting on YouTube and stuff, and like because I know a lot of your viewers were, I'm guessing, probably just younger people taking your videos as advice,
Mhm.
um, like as you were creating content in college and just like post grad and stuff. And it felt like those videos and also just like college videos in general felt like a blueprint.
Wait, did you lose
Oh,
Samira?
oh yeah. Okay, I
Okay,
thought
because
it
I
was
was like,
me. I wonder what she had to say.
I know, I was like, the blueprint.
The blueprint for the
The
blueprint
The blueprint.
for
Yeah.
I was like, what's the blueprint? Tell me.
um yeah, like the blueprint for like early adulthood and like just like those videos in general, I feel like were that. And I'm curious, like when you look back on it, just kind of like how you viewed like your audience and also if you felt this like kind of pressure to sort of like have your life together and like be in this because we were talking about this in another episode recently of how that era of YouTube was also very much like the like perfect aesthetic type of like content, whereas now it's
Mm.
like the thing is oversharing and being brutally honest, but back then I feel like that wasn't really the norm. So I'm curious if you feel like you felt pressure and if that then contributed to you going offline or just experiencing any sort of burnout with social media.
Yeah, I feel like I have always tried to shake the reputation that like I have everything figured out and I have my life together because even at the peak of that, I still was like, that's not how it's feeling internally. Like
Mm.
I had this one teacher that had this metaphor that was like it's like kind of like a duck swimming on water where it's like on the top of the surface it's looking very placid, but underneath the legs are like ah, like you're like really trying to work at it. And so I feel like that was always something that people just clock me as, and I've never been able to figure out why like they register me as like having my life together
I
because
feel like it's an aesthetic thing.
I
Like,
guess
which is
Yeah.
really interesting, yeah.
so I'm like I just need to like get grungier, I guess. I don't know. I'm like I got the
Yeah.
eyebrow piercing, is that not enough? Like what else do I need to do? But yeah, I feel like I have been really shocked and kind of amazed to see how much my audience has followed me actually as I've taken like many left turns because I thought like once I stopped making college content like people would fall off and like of course there is sort of like a culling every time you make like transitions with your like themes, but even as I become like more radical in my politics and as I've like changed sort of like the nature of like like walking back some of my like perfectionism and being like really self-critical and like just all of the like life hacks era of like how to optimize. Like I'm just not interested in like optimization the same way that I used to be. And I feel like I've made a lot of videos that are sort of like retrospective of like recounting those old videos and like reacting to them and being like compassionately like where I was sort of like misled or like kind of the propaganda that I was like pushing and trying to like adapt that to modern times and be like, oh, I no longer believe in that and like here's why and like here's like how I'm changing. And I feel like it's been really wonderful to see like a lot of people have made those changes before I have, and then they're like, oh, I was kind of like not watching your content anymore because it kind of felt outdated to like my lifestyle, and now it's actually like matching back up again, and so we like find each other again on the internet, and like that is just so mysterious and wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am, yeah, like the thing that you brought up of how, like, when your politics got more radicalized and stuff, because I remember, like, that era of you posting content on YouTube also of, like, just kind of this, like, shift from, like, hustle culture and corporate job to then being, like, more, like, actually, like, I kind of am against all of this now in a way. And I'm, yeah, curious if you are comfortable talking about it, just kind of, like, what led you to that mindset and, like, that era of your life, and if that's kind of what you're still in now, or if you've gone, like, more into it or out of it, or, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I just did not have critical thinking skills before the age of like 24. Like I just like our educational system like just does not value like pushback or like critique. Like I feel like because I was such a good student, I was so good at like taking information from the authority figure, processing it and like trying to please others with like my mastery of that. And
Yeah.
then that leads you to, become a little bit too like calcified in that. And then I think I had like Jared being one of them, like a few friends that like kind of planted the early seeds of like, hey, like maybe a world based on like profit like isn't the best thing for our planet. And I was like, okay, but like then how are people gonna like start new companies? Like
Were
I
you
was
like
like,
oppositional to that kind of when you were first like getting the ideas?
yeah, like I feel like I was just so steeped in the propaganda, and like I was literally a business major in college, so I'm like that is just the major of like making money. Like it's like, literally
Yeah.
just like it's not like I did not get like a liberal arts education. Like I had like a
They have a brainwashing class in the business school in
They
every
do in every
at
business
every
school
school.
literally
across the
every it's literally
country.
every class.
Yeah.
I like walked away with some life skills from it. Like I feel like it made me a good like presenter. But I'm like the my favorite classes that I took at USC were like occupational therapy classes that I was learning about like, you know, wellness and like creative ethic and like all these things. I'm like that is like given so many dividends to my life. But I feel like yeah, the a lot of the propaganda that was like peddled to me there like stuck with me for a while and took me a while to like deconstruct basically. And then just like witnessing just like a lot of like civil disobedience like in the wake of like, you know, 2020 George Floyd protests. I was like, oh, like I'm seeing collective action in a way that like I feel like I haven't like recognized before in like our generation. Like I'm seeing my peers like really throw down in a way that I haven't before. And then I had actually a subscriber reach out and was like, hey, like I'm a facilitator for political education classes, like would love for you to like take one. It seems like you're like kind of going that way. And so then I
Whoa.
just
That's
actually
really
received a
cool.
political education. And then I was like, oh, there are
Whoa.
other ways of structuring and like organizing society. Like there are, like, it was just a matter of like I've always been a
That's
very
such an
imaginative,
interesting pipeline.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and so now that's the organizing work that I do is like facilitating political education classes, which like makes so much sense for who I am because I'm still like someone that loves to learn and like I love education, but like I no longer like really believe in like the, you know, education system that we have in this country at least. And so now I'm able to like, you know, really see like there are other worlds possible. And like I feel like I've always been someone with a lot of imagination. Like you have to if you're creative. And so like wasn't that hard for me to like imagine another way was possible, but I was like I need to like see models of that and then just building up more relationships with people that are like throwing down and are organizing in their communities. I was like, oh, this is like a really powerful way to like, you know, actually apply myself and not feel just so much despair of like things are wrong, I don't know how to make them right. It's like, okay, well, just start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's really cool. That's such an
Yeah.
interesting like journey of like a subscriber messaging you. Like
Yeah.
that's really interesting because it feels like it was kind of like you were kind of drawn to it in this way,
Yeah.
well, like as soon as you started getting into those ideas,
Mhm.
which I feel like is interesting of like I see that happen a lot where like someone just like kind of like peeks their head into like an idea and then like that idea is like come here.
It's like, come
Yes.
Like come here,
Yeah.
come here.
Well, I
feel like
but
that's always what
scary
happens.
sometimes because like
Yeah.
yeah,
it the like going
like to
back
get radicalized
yeah,
online,
the
yeah.
pace of it is like too much too fast. And like I think that's why I really appreciated that it was like I got connected to the political education classes through the internet, but then they were on Zoom, so like it was still like online, but it was like
Yeah.
16 weeks once a week, 2 hours of reading, like 2 hours of discussion, like much
Like it was a
slower.
class.
Yeah, like much more
Yeah.
discussion based where it's like, okay, I'm not just like watching like Hasanati streams for like 8 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
because I'm just like I don't feel like that. Like I don't believe in like infographics are gonna
That
save
is so
us.
funny.
Yeah.
So I'm like I think that we need to like actually be talking to each other and like working through each other and like again bringing it back to commitment. It's like if you actually want to like learn and like develop your political ideology, like you should commit to it in like a rigorous like serious way instead of just like taking it passively from like one person online where it's like, okay, are they reading, you know, are they reading sources that are good? And I get really worried now because I'm like, there are so many different political ideologies that you could become attached to by being online. And I don't know that they all have merit.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's also really scary, like that, yeah, you can just like say you're radicalized or say that you're super political when it is like you just seeing infographics online that you like are like, oh yeah, I agree with this, and then reposting it, or like watching a YouTube video and being like, I agree with this, when it's like there's so much more complexity to it that like, yeah, you really can't just get through the internet or like through like, a
Yeah.
surface level on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you just can't change the world from posting. Like you gotta actually
Yeah.
build other structures and systems. So
Mhm. I was gonna ask because I feel like we also like forgot to ask you this at the beginning, but like, what was like your early like online like experiences and like what pockets of the internet were you in? Because I'm interested like that pipeline to like kind of being like enmeshed in like more corporate idea, like
mhm.
normal ideas, normie culture, I guess, if you want to
Yeah,
call
yeah,
it
yeah, no,
that.
yeah.
But and then like getting more political online.
Yeah, I feel like it's always been like that's the crazy part about the internet is like it's such a mosaic. Like you could be
Yeah.
watching really normie content and then you could also be like on Tumblr being like, I'm mentally ill. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
so there's so many different streams, but I feel like, yeah, even when I was on Tumblr, I'm like somehow I'm still on like the nerdy side of Tumblr where we're like comparing like our stats and like our college
Yeah.
essays and like but those girls were still like baddies, you know, like they were
Yeah.
still
They
like
were.
they were little
They were
indie
still
baddies,
wearing
like
like American Apparel and listening to
exactly,
Lana.
exactly. And
Yeah,
like we were still
literally.
listening
Yeah,
to Sky Ferreira, like we were still listening to Lana, like we were still
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys, Pilled, like we're all of that. So I feel like I still had like that. I feel like I have always been really like self-assured and like very like outspoken. And so I feel like it's just a matter of like what I am speaking about. So it's like I'm going to just take a very like I have very much strong opinions, maybe moderately firmly held, like not super loose, but like there. But yeah, I feel like I was very much on like music Twitter, like pop Twitter.
Yes, yeah.
Like a little bit of like film Twitter, I feel like I was really like I loved, you know, I loved like 500 Days of Summer in high school. Like I loved seeing
Yeah.
her. Like when I saw Call Me by Your Name, like my senior year of high school, I was like, oh, that changed everything.
Yeah, that was such like a movie for people online. It's
It
interesting
really
to look back
was.
Yeah.
on.
Well, it's like my and me name dropping Jared so many times on this, but it's like just the friends that like
Hi,
I've
Jared.
had, they
Hi,
have just
Jared.
introduced me to so much stuff that I feel like it really
Aw.
just depends like what my friends are into, and I also feel like because I've always been so lucky to be surrounded by queer community, like I've just always had such gay friends. I'm like
Yeah.
there are gay people in corporate America, but I would say if you are truly queer, like your like position in the world is a little bit more like questioning and like
Yeah.
resisting. So I
Yeah.
feel like that has always helped me where it's like I was very like I joke that I was like, you know, very like narky in high school because I was like, I'm not smoking weed, like I'm not drinking, like I'm not doing any of that. But like all my friends were. Like I wasn't like actually like
Yeah.
in like,
Yeah.
a Protestant bubble or anything. It was like no, like my friends were throwing down and like cool and like but I was just like I am taking a much more like I don't know, a different position in it. So I feel like, yeah, on the internet, like I'm like, I wish I did more like research of like, I wish you could see like what you were watching in like 2010 because I'm like,
Oh my God, same.
I wish YouTube, like when they did their Wrapped or whatever, I wish they were like on this day 10 years ago.
Yeah, that'd be really
Yeah.
cool.
Watching. So
That
would
I
be
feel like on
really
YouTube,
cool.
a lot of it was like very much like Beauty Baby 44, like definitely like Remy Ashton, like a lot of the like, yeah, a lot of the lifestyle. I was very in the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
more DIY. I love DIY too. I was like really into like crafts, like DIY crafts, and like I've always loved like I love Paige Wassel. That's my girl. So I feel like when I track back, I'm like there's a lot of home decor, a lot of like home design. Just there's so many little portals and things that I was able to find on the internet, and then you know, once I got on TikTok, like that created a whole other sphere. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you on TikTok now? Like, are you actively on it or?
I departed maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I left the station because I actually had like a really scary viral moment on there, and then I was like, wait, I have this whole audience on here, but then I was like, wait, TikTok literally is so like underserving to their creators. I was like, how do I have like almost 250,000 followers on here and some of my videos are getting 800 views?
Yeah.
What was your
that
viral
would
moment?
never happen.
Yeah, what was your viral moment?
It was basically I had like maybe 8,000 followers when this happened. So it was like
Okay.
people from YouTube and stuff did not really follow me over there. And then I just had this moment when I was in Seattle where I was like going to the gym and there was like a prompt every month at the gym, and somebody, no matter what the prompt was, like found a way to answer it with the word monkey, but like MONKE. And I was like, who is this? I'm like, who is this? And I'm like, I have always loved, commitment to the bit. I'm like, I love when someone has a shtick. I'm like, I'm recognizing the comedy in this. Like, I'm recognizing this. And I was just following it on my Instagram story, like kind of updating people. And then I was like, this is cute. Like, let me make a little compilation.
Oh my God.
I had gotten to the point where I was like, I'm going to try to like reach out to this person, just let them know that like I see what they're doing, and I appreciate their work.
I appreciate that.
And then that video, like I like made the video, closed the app, like came back on the next morning, and my friends were like, dude, like it's literally already at like 1 million views.
Whoa.
And like John Green had commented like, this is the next great American story. I was like, what the hell?
Oh my God, John Green commented.
Yeah,
okay,
it was like
John
on
Green,
the Irish
why are you on
radio.
TikTok?
Like,
John Green should not be commenting on girls' TikTok. Like on
no,
TikTok.
literally!
He should not be commenting on girls' TikToks, first of all. But like, it's so interesting.
He's looking for his next Alaska.
True, his next muse. Oh my God.
Okay, I appreciate that you guys had this lens on it, because I was like, why was he writing so many like teen girl books?
Yeah. Honestly,
This is giving me like
low-key
crazy
very, like,
deja vu
trans
right
of them,
now.
I feel like I'm like, why are you trying to be a teen girl so bad?
Yeah.
Have we talked about John Green like this on another episode in the
No.
nighttime? Because this is really giving me deja vu.
In the nighttime.
Yeah.
Specifically.
I feel like maybe he comes to me in my sleep sometimes, and I'm just getting flashbacks. Sorry.
Yeah,
He's around.
He's around. I'm glad that he's on
yeah,
TikTok and that he's
That's
just
a
like,
really
around
funny
on
experience
TikTok.
though. Because I feel like, yeah, that's like the thing with TikTok is I feel like so many people have that experience of like being like, I don't want to be on this because this is like evil and I don't like the way that like the followings like just like go to one place or another.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
I was just like,
yeah.
It was interesting because I was like, I'm experiencing this app as someone who has like already been a content creator on YouTube for a while, and like, Instagram and Twitter to like some extent too. And so I was like, I'm not new to this, but I'm watching so many people like get their start on like
Yes,
TikTok,
yeah. Or like
and
use
the
social media
app.
for the first time
No,
Yes.
no,
on
I'm like,
TikTok.
oh my
Yeah.
God, you guys, like, and they're just experiencing all these milestones that I was like, in a way, it just did feel like I'm kind of surveilling like what it's like for them to like blow up for the
Yeah.
first time. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I know that like blowing up is like actually a very fraught thing, and it's like it comes with a lot of baggage that like you honestly it's better to grow slow. Like it's much better to grow slow, because then what ends up happening is like I got 250,000 followers because that video ended up getting like 30 million views, and so
Oh my God.
yeah,
That's
like
insane.
and I was just like, and then it just like spiraled, because then people thought I was like basically just like a witch, and like it got to I got women.
They thought you were a witch because you because you made a video of someone responding monkey to every.
I like didn't expose any PII. I didn't like. I was like very cognizant. I didn't show any faces.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything like that. And they were just like, "You're doxing this person," and I was like,
Oh,
"Bro, I actually
okay.
don't even know who this is. So how could I be doxing them?" And so they
She's
were
a
like,
witch.
"Yeah, no, like genuinely, like you're evil."
It's like
and-
insane. People are so
Yeah.
insane.
it just spiraled out of control, and I was just like, this is not. I don't need this. I was like,
Yeah.
was perfectly fine just like getting the engagement from like the people on my Instagram. So then that was a lesson in like, oh, like I actually do need to really consider like what is private for me and like what is public, and like what am I going to be releasing. And
I feel like that should not be something like for a video exactly like the one you posted. I really like feel like that's something that is like a no-brainer. It's like, why would you even
Yeah.
need to consider what
you would think, but it's
Like there's
people are
nothing
just-
in that.
there's nothing
That make
like
people
It was
do that.
so
Do that, yeah.
harmless. Like,
Yeah.
the response to it just got. I'm like, people on the internet just use it. Like, people just start using the internet in irresponsible ways. Where I'm just like, but I was also like, am I using the internet? Like, it made me really like paranoid, basically, because I was just like, what am I doing on here? Like, I'm maligned, and I'm
get that.
looking immoral. So I basically I continued posting for a while, but then it's like, of course, those 250,000 people were there for that story. Like,
Yeah.
they weren't there for me. Like, they were there for
Yeah.
that story. And then some people were like, oh, I like your life philosophy. Like, I like that you're someone that, like, enjoys mystery and, like, has, like storytelling and da-da-da-da-da and, like, would follow for that.
People
But,
are
like,
so insane. I'm so like,
it's
People
like,
on
just, like,
TikTok are
cuckoo.
crazy.
like
It's
gauging
cuckoo.
all of that just from that TikTok too is just like hilarious to me.
It is just such a microcosm of like the internet, and I'm like, I have just experienced so much online. I'm like, I was like, thank God that like I'm me, because if this happened to someone who had like never experienced any like attention on the internet, it would have blown their brain to smithereens. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is just
Well,
not, and it nearly did mine. So I was like, okay.
Well, what you said about like people experiencing like blowing up for the first time on TikTok, I feel like is interesting because I think about this a lot in terms of TikTok of like that was the first time I ever witnessed like people in like my high school getting online, like because they were all like
Yes.
not online and I was online and I thought I was fucked up in the head when I'd be like, wait, oh my God, yes. They'd be like, what the fuck is she saying? And then it like became the like what's it called? The
The great
Baseline
equalizer.
or
Yeah.
yeah, the
yeah.
baseline for just like people like the for like the culture, I guess, and like it's just crazy. It was crazy watching people like get their idea of social media off TikTok because it was just like almost like it was just taking all the things like I feel like it was almost just like reliving Stan Twitter and reliving like all these different communities, and like people didn't realize that it wasn't the first time that had happened, I guess, or like where the like jokes or like comedy was coming from.
Yeah, and watching people from high school like blow up on TikTok who were like insufferable in high school.
Oh my God,
And
it
then watching
killed
them now
me.
and didn't know what the internet was, like didn't know what Stan
It
Twitter
killed
was,
me.
and now they're blowing, didn't know what Tumblr was, and
I
now they're
remember
like,
being so
ugh,
mad about it because I was like,
yeah.
oh my God, like the fact that someone from my school can get famous for making a dancing video, this makes me upset. And I was so mad as a child, but I got over it, obviously. But
No,
You grew up.
it's really
grew
good
up.
analysis. Like, I feel like I understood the same thing that you're talking about, where I'm just like, it is really weird to have people who don't have the same amount of like internet literacy, which I
Yeah.
feel like I might have too much. Like, I might have spent too much time, but I'm like, it's like so interesting watching people get on the platform and just like not have the context of like what's been
Yeah.
going on and how like internet scenes come to be and like all the different like ways of being on the platform. It was just kind of like, oh, so we're all just here now, and like it's not like what is it called when it's just like there's basically universal like cultural moments where it's like now we all understand these certain memes, but it used to be like something that was more like sidelined. It's
Yeah.
it's
I feel like I think of it as like the like almost just like what's like the
like when something
consensus
becomes
in like
mainstream.
yeah, mainstream, but like the consensus of like I think of it a lot, and maybe this is because this is maybe because like you know when like pre-sales would happen and then you'd be like, oh, general public. I always
Yeah.
think of it as like, oh, the general public knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
That's how
Or
I
even
We
think
were
the
like in the
resale.
pre-sale.
The
yeah, it's like
resale.
I was
The
like, yeah, I
resale.
had that pre-sale code, but they were getting on a general public.
They were going on
And-
StubHub.
Yeah, they were going on StubHub for the resale.
Yeah.
That is so true. Because
So
even now,
true.
sometimes people are like, "How did you get those tickets?" I was like, "Oh, well, I was on the pre-sale.
Yeah. Exactly. Like,
I
and
was
then,
on the email list that I signed up for so that I could do
yeah,
that."
in the special fan club newsletter.
Yeah,
Right,
I got the text
exactly.
message with the little
Yeah.
code.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like, oh, y'all didn't know about that? It's
I
like,
want to establish that as a term, honestly. I think we should
you should.
establish
You should
that.
trademark that, I think.
And you know what? That would
Okay.
make, unfortunately, would make a really good TikTok.
Oh, Brittany,
know
can you
it'll go
post
viral.
that and then we can go viral?
Yeah.
I think it would be really good for us.
That's the thing is we keep like having these moments in our lives where we're like, if we really wanted the podcast to blow up, like we could really easily get famous on TikTok. Like people are really stupid on there. Like we could just do it. But it's like, oh my God, like the idea of like just the thought of doing that like makes me want to yak.
Yeah.
And that's something to pay attention to, because it's like you don't want to get in a position where the way you're handling your outlet is making you ill. Like,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's,
Yeah.
I would love to know more about like your strategy with it, because it is like, I sometimes feel like I am self-sabotaging myself because I'm not doing the things that I know.
No, I feel the
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah, I feel like that's been
Yeah.
our struggle since starting it, because we're like, I feel like I know like what would get people, but it's like Brittany one time posted this TikTok
Is
of
it
like
the jeans
the jeans
TikTok?
TikTok of like
Yes, the jeans TikTok.
literally sitting in the park and being like, guys, how many times do you wash your jeans or like
And
something like
it was
that?
like a video of me, great daylight, my jeans, like my barrel jeans, like, and I was like,
Yeah.
and then just text, and I literally made the caption like, I don't give a fuck, like I'm playing y'all, and it was like when we first started the podcast, and I was literally like posting it as a joke because like I thought the question was so stupid. And it got 6 million views, and everyone fucking like, yeah, sorry, I just hijacked your story, but
No.
No, but everyone was like commenting, like it was
yeah,
crazy. And
yeah.
it's like, is this really what we need to do?
No, but I was looking back at that recently and I was like, wow, the caption is literally like, I don't give a crap, like I'm playing you.
Yeah.
And people didn't even like notice.
They didn't even care.
No.
Yeah.
And
It still
because the
blew up.
comprehension on TikTok is like so different, like the
Yeah.
and that's why I'm like, especially for a podcast, I feel like the growth just has to be so different because it's like,
Yeah.
if you get the kind of attention people get on TikTok on a podcast, it's not going to serve you that well because it's like if they're
Yeah.
only trying to pay attention for 60 seconds and barely read, it's like,
No,
do you want
exactly.
people that are like deeply like, and I feel like the work that you guys are doing, it's like you're really excavating like internet archive kind of, and it's like
Aw,
that
thank
is
you.
like it's really it's like really valuable work for people that like have spent so much time online.
Aw,
Like,
thank
yeah.
you.
and
Thank
so it's
you.
like, do you
So
want to
sweet.
get like your podcast? Like, I feel like it wouldn't make sense for people that are doing StubHub like resale. Like, it makes more sense for people
Yeah.
that are doing pre-sale. Like, it makes, and so it's like that's the kind of audience you want to find. I feel like you guys are doing the right thing, where it's just like you're getting really great guests like that are just like compelling. So it's like,
Aw,
okay,
thank you.
that's gonna open you up to like the audience. Like, I mean, it's always it's a hard line to walk of like, do I clip the hell out of myself? And even like, it's happening in every social, like every creative outlet where it's like, as a stand-up comedian, it's like clipping yourself to bits is like how people like get an audience.
Yeah.
Then it's like, but then they go on tour across the country and tickets are hard to sell. Because
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
people from TikTok going to show up to the club and pay $35?
Yeah.
It's like,
well,
I
even
don't-
like our viral moments on TikTok, like we had like so many, like we had really, really good like views, engagement, whatever on like our Elsie Fisher TikTok, and it like hardly translated to views at all. Even when I like check like the like where the views are coming from, like it's hardly ever from TikTok. Like it's really just people wanting to like see like a viral moment, like as you
Yeah.
said, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if you have any like advice, having like done like social media and like YouTube and stuff for so long, because I feel like it's something that we are like still figuring out of like
Mhm.
Yeah.
how to even like grow while also, because I feel like we get like we like get really big guests and then we're like surprised that like more people aren't like you
I'm
know.
honestly saying, you guys, like
Thank you.
I'm surprised that some of these guests are not doing crazy numbers.
Yeah,
because
like
I'm just
on other
like,
people's podcasts, they do crazy numbers, and we're like, damn, is it because like it's been virtual for so long? Like, I don't know, it's interesting. Like we just
That's
moved
what
in
I
person,
think it must
but
be, but like I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of just like pointing to that as sort of like the reason because I'm like, ugh, I don't know what else
It's
it
hard
is.
to know, but I feel like y'all have like, I feel like for me, internet content, the quality just has to hit like a baseline. Like,
Yeah.
people used to be filming YouTube videos on their MacBook cameras on like webcams, and that was fine. And like even now, when people are filming on their iPhones, I'm like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
if it's compelling and like entertaining, like I'm gonna watch it, even if the audio is like a little bad. Like,
Yeah.
if the content's genuinely good, like I'll watch it. So it's hard to analyze it and like actually know. But honestly, like I think the only success, like the only secret to commitment is the only secret knowledge. Like literally consistency is the only way that I've like ever seen like true like growth online. It's just like,
Yeah.
you just keep hitting it, and like eventually one of the videos is going to get a little bit more traction, but it's like so painful to go through the like the
Yeah.
slog. But I'm like, that's why when people are thinking about starting online and starting a new outlet, even at this year where it feels like, oh, it's too saturated, it's like, would you do it 10 years down the road if I told you like your videos are only going to get like a couple hundred views? Because if so, you should 100% start it. But if it's like,
Yeah.
if you're expecting 100K views in the first couple of years, like you're setting yourself up for failure in terms of like, you're going to be critiquing yourself too much, when it should just be like, oh, I'm generating something that's like fulfilling to me beyond just like the reception of it. And now it is like hard online because it's so professionalized. Like when I started, absolutely no commercial outlet to it. There wasn't even like AdSense. So
Yeah.
now it's like it's hard because like you want to kind of like rank yourself against people that are like doing it like full time, and like even myself,
Yeah.
I'm like I feel like kind of a flop because I'm like I've never done it like purely full time. Like I've never made enough money online to do it like 100% just that. But I'm like I think I just don't. I think I might just not want to. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but all I know is like if you just keep doing what you're doing, like eventually, like I feel like you guys have got it. You know,
Thank
Aw,
you.
thank
That's so
you. That's really
sweet.
sweet.
I think you have what
Yeah.
it takes, so not to worry.
Thank you.
No, that's really sweet. Thank you. And like I feel like that advice is really helpful and it's what
Yeah.
everyone says. So
Yes.
it's like it's gotta be true.
It
Yeah,
must be true. I feel like something's bound to happen soon. I have
Yeah,
this
it's funny
and
because
feeling.
I feel like we stumbled into like some crazy like viral moments like really early on, so we almost like kind of were like, oh, this will translate. But it's like crazy because
Yeah.
it hasn't translated yet into like a really consistent like big audience. Like I think we have a somewhat consistent audience, but it's not like a huge one. So I'm
Mhm.
yeah.
interested to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is disappointing, and I also experienced that where I was just like, okay, so I got 250,000 on TikTok, and then that gave me 2,000 followers on Instagram, like that,
Yeah.
and then it
Yeah.
gave me like nothing on YouTube. So I was like, well, huh? So it's like, what is actually proliferating, or like what these platforms like? I'm like, do they actually want us to succeed? I'm like, it's because it's like it's hard to
Yeah.
actually get like the discovery is one thing, then the retention's another. It's like
Mm.
then the adaptation is it's like there is actually like so much to it, but I feel like ultimately just viewing it as an experiment is like the
Yeah.
best way to go about it. Like just be playful and like
Yeah.
try new things, and like if it's bringing you fulfillment and enjoyment, like that's actually the crux of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also like I just had the thought while you were talking that I wonder if like also the big reason why TikTok doesn't like lead to a lot of engagement is because it's still like that or like whatever not engagement like just like translates like to a like
To a
YouTube audience.
following.
Yeah.
I'm like maybe it is still like in this way that a lot of people like can't see. It's just this like app where like people who like were like my association of like what the general public was to me in high school, like it's still like all those people who just like don't really want to engage in like deep internet stuff. They just want to like
Yeah.
go on something and be entertained, and it's like not, and that's like kind of the like reality of TikTok.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like the target audience for a lot of like long form podcasts because I'm like I like don't watch a lot of the clips, but like I will watch the like an hour and a half interview with Dr. Orna, or like an hour and a half. Like I will go because I'm like I really love getting inspired by like other creative people and like actually hearing like unfortunately like really dislike a lot of the most popular like music journalists, like you know the Zach Sang of it all, and like Zane Lowe.
Oh,
He's
he
so
pisses
annoying.
me off so much. I
It's
like
really
want to
unfortunate
choke him.
because they get good guests, and I'm like, I
I
hate
know.
watching you be
And
snivelly. I hate
it's
it.
because he's like, well, Zach Sang is like a nepo baby.
Yeah, and they just need girls doing it basically. They
Yeah.
need like
do.
cool girls doing
All of these
it.
boys with podcasts that blow up, I'm like, you shouldn't have a podcast.
No, yeah, it's not okay. So I'm like, I will even when I don't like the host, I'm still watching like
Yes,
long form
yeah.
stuff because of the guests. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
feel like there's like here's the other thing is it's like there is an audience for everything, but the audience might not be huge. Like
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah.
but when I think about like my favorite, like I'm rewatching this TV show Search Party right now, and it's like not even on streaming
yeah.
platforms anymore. Like it actually like never got that big. It was always really niche. Like the creators of it, I was looking at them on IMDb, and like they haven't really done that much, or some of the actors too haven't really done that much since then. But I'm
Yeah.
like the sense of humor on that show, the comedy, like even just like the color grading of it, I'm like, I love this. Like this is like really hitting the spot for me. And so I don't care that it never went like, you know, blockbuster hit, because I'm like, it serves me. So I always just take that into account where I'm like,
Yeah.
it's okay if I don't hit like commercial, like crazy huge viability if that's not actually like a lot of my favorite like a lot of my favorite
Fun
elements
stuff.
aren't. You know.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my cat's biting my legs. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I need to.
But-
I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about Search Party, especially
yeah, I also
recently.
have. Yeah.
Well, it definitely, if you're in the New York comedy scene, I feel like
Yeah.
it was in like
that must be it.
yeah, John Early is in it, and he's like
Yeah.
one of my favorite comedians, and he was like a pioneer of like the New York alt comedy scene in like the 20s.
Oh, really?
So
Wait,
it's
that's
very,
why.
and it's like I am like this. I'm like trying to figure out. It's very Brooklyn, but I'm like, where are they? It's like they live in this apartment building that's like so like warehousey, and I'm like, I'm trying to make out the street names because I'm like, where the hell is that? But it's very
Yeah.
much like very much like if you like girls, if you like it's very like white people being insufferable in New York is
Yeah.
like the category.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
cool.
So stupid. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
should
Yeah,
watch
I'll
that.
give it a watch.
Do you want to watch that tonight, Brittany?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It is a show though that you have to get the tone of it is really weird. And so you have to like get through a season of it to understand what they're trying to do with the show. It went on for 5 seasons, and every season is like kind of parodying like a different kind of like content or like genre. So like some of the seasons do kind of like a spoof on like a courtroom like TV
Okay.
show. Some of the seasons do a spoof on like a cult documentary. Like it travels a lot, so I would just say commit to it. And you know who's in it is Cole Escola, who I hope you guys know
Ooh.
who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Okay,
Wait.
well that Cole Escola
looking
is
it
the
up.
one that created Oh Mary, that's like really popular right now. It's
Oh.
like this play.
Oh,
So
yes,
yeah,
I see.
that's a great comedian to know. Very, very talented. So they
I'll
just
write that down.
yeah, they
Yeah.
have some good like there's some good people in the show where I'm like Patty Harrison, and then J. Smith Cameron from Succession is like in it. So they just have some like good picks basically. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a show that I'm like it kind of is
Fun
my hallmark
stuff.
of like it never got critical acclaim, but it went platinum in my heart. And so
Yeah.
it's like
And I
I'm
feel like-
okay if like my role as like a creator or a person in general is like I actually don't need to get too much more famous. This is good. I'm like I'm actually good. This is
Yeah.
good. I'll keep it here.
That was really funny. Wait, thank you for the recs though. I'm definitely gonna look at those and like watch.
And
I
for
wanna-
the advice too. Thank you, like for everything that you said. I feel like
yeah,
it's very
really
helpful
sweet.
to hear.
Really sweet.
Also.
It's tough navigating like where to go, but I feel like if you just tap into like what is actually interesting to you, and always like my mindset was like, what is like the itch that I want scratched? Like what am I
Yeah.
not seeing online that like I want to see?
Yeah.
And just make that. And it feels like there's less and less of that because there is so much content, but I'm like, no, there's still stuff that I'm like, oh, I'm so glad this was made because this is like exactly what I want to see. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like that's definitely like the original, like our, like why we started it. And so, yeah, I always just like appreciate other people who have that in their heads because it's so easy to default to like, just like slop online.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And we also respect what you do so much though. The
Yes.
advice is so helpful.
Yeah.
resist
Yeah.
slop, resist slop.
It's
Even
true.
though it does
It's true.
numbers, it will not nurture your integrity. Like it
True.
will not give you a sense of like fulfillment. And like
Yeah.
I have had the fortune of like watching so many of my friends' creative careers take off and like change over time, and like the people that I feel like are just doing the same video over and over again, it really does sort of like dull your creative like ethic, and you start to feel trapped by it actually.
Yeah.
Even though like it could be doing commercially very well, it's like you want to be an artist that's taking like left turns and like changing your genre up. Even though solar power loses some people, it's like eventually people are like, okay, I understand what she was doing with that, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
definitely.
thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
It was so
thank
fun.
you.
And thank
This
you
was
for
so
everything you
fun.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see who else you guys bring on.
Aw.
Thank you. We
Um,
also, I know you mentioned people committing to the bit. So speaking
Yes.
of bits, we have a bit that we have all of our guests do at the
I'm
end of the
ready,
episode.
I just sent it in the chat.
Dude.
I wonder if Jared knows Josh from Vine because
Honestly, Yeah, maybe I'll text him and see.
Oh my God, can you?
I'll text him and see.
Oh my
We
God.
have to be done with this bit.
We
Like,
need
have
this
to be
over.
done with
We're
it.
almost at 100 episodes. We need this
We
to
need it
end.
to be done.
Like, please save us. I'm like,
No,
because
literally.
what would be enough for you? If he like, do you want him on for a full episode, or if he came
Yeah.
on for like 5 minutes with that?
Literally, like, whatever. We just want this crap
We
to
just
end.
need like something. Honestly,
We
at
need
this
something.
point,
Yeah,
I'm fine with him sending in like a cameo.
I'm
Like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, literally. Like, send us a fucking
and
cameo.
it doesn't
I'm
even like
done.
it can literally be him being like, I don't want to be on your podcast. Stop fucking asking me. And that's like that's that.
and that could be really good, actually.
I think that'd be honestly maybe funnier than like
Yeah.
having him on an actual episode.
Okay,
And
so, yeah.
I feel like I want to escalate it first, though. I've been saying this. I really want to escalate it first. I want to, like, send a piece of hair in the mail. I want to get someone who he used to harass online to harass him. Like, I want to make him think we're really psychotic.
It's a quest.
It's a quest.
You're on a quest.
Anyways, yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I, katherout, hereby request Josh Ovalle for collaboration with the Internet is Dead podcast. Please, Josh, be a guest on the podcast. We miss you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so fun. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
It was
coming
so
on.
awesome. Yeah, so
It
nice,
was so
to,
nice
meet
to meet you.
If you're ever in New York, let us know.
Oh, I will. Yeah,
Yes,
I
no.
usually make like a yearly program. So
Oh my God.